Hey everyone, Dimitri here. I forgot to put my headphones on. Put the headphones on. What? The headphones? The headphones. Put the headphones on. So I've just reprocessed my first initial traumatic contact with pornography, and only, I think, traumatic contact with pornography. And I thought I'd share. It's a good foresight of what to expect with pornography. And the first step is to quit pornography. And the second step is to get rid of the imprint, the sexual thoughts that are related to the fantasies. And maybe the last step is to work on the trauma that are associated to this early exposure to pornography and whatever is related to that. And I don't want to scare you as I say that, because I don't want you to, like, quitting pornography is definitely the hardest of the three steps, and I don't want you to feel that there's this whole battle to fight, and then there's still more fights. There is a little more fights after that, but it's a brand new life from the time you quit pornography, that's for sure. But what I've reprocessed is this fantasy that I had fixated on, and I don't feel there's a particular need to explicit the fantasy. In particular, it's an extreme sex fantasy. I don't think there's a need to spread that fantasy or the shadow that's associated to it. But I was 13 and I was exposed to this extreme pornography. And what's happened is that as I saw that, I thought, oh, this is something I would like to do. But there was confusion. And the confusion was into this. And this is something I would like to do. It was not the fantasy, but it was that as I was able to witness the sexual freedom that people were enjoying and the pleasure that was coming from it and the release, I felt like, I feel like connecting to this part of me, but also to these people, to this community. I was 13, so part of this is probably a projection that I'm doing now onto these memories. It doesn't really matter. And I was like, I'd like to do this. And then what I felt was, and there was confusion, and the confusion that you can still hear is not that I would like to do the fantasy, is that I would like to have the sexual freedom. And what that meant for me having the sexual freedom was I would like to be able to express my sexuality and my sexual energy in a way that I don't get rejected. And witnessing what I'm witnessing now about this extreme pornography stuff that's happening behind my eyes, or in front of my eyes, we never know which is which, I feel like there's a space where I can do that. Whereas before I felt like there was no space where I could do that. And so then there was this feeling of rejection and anger. And I understood why I was getting rejected is because I've got this overflow. I had this overflow of sexual energy that impacted people around me. But that wasn't my intention. I'm hard to contain overall. I mean, more containable now, but I was definitely hard to contain as a child and as a teenager. And do I want to be contained anymore? I don't think I do. But yes, and then I came to understand also that this creativity also comes at play with humor and joking, and I have heard people in the past by being humorous on things that I shouldn't have been and being overly joyful, but also provocative and things like that. And so that's also something that came up, was that the humor and the sex were both too much. They were there was an overflow of that, which is my problem, but then it was impacting other people. And so that's the reason why I got rejected a lot when I was a teenager. And so understanding that is comforting, because I know I'm not doing that anymore now, or if I do it, I see it happen and I can apologize or correct my behavior in some way, and I feel more in control. And I forgive myself, because as a 13-year-old exposed to extreme pornography, I forgive myself that there was confusion. So I just wanted to share that with you. And there's this clarity in me, this inner peace, this sense of balance that I wish for you all. I wish for you all, and you will get there. Yes, and it's unfortunate. That's why prevention is required in pornography. It's because at 13-year-old you should not be exposed to extreme pornography. Otherwise there is confusion, and after confusion there is fixation, and after fixation there is frustration, and after frustration there is self-harm, and who knows where this can escalate. So I think that's what I wanted to share with you today. Yeah. Yeah. And it ties in nicely with what I said yesterday about the fact that there is no small trauma. I would have easily overlooked that memory that was kind of like recurring. I was just having this flash of like, why do I keep having this flash of that thing? Not so much in a sexual way, but more in a personal development way. Like this image of the fantasy kept coming to me, and I'm glad I investigated it and reprocessed it with someone who's qualified. And I'm happy to help you reprocess those